Man, when I really think back at this, every failure for me has been a form of success. You got like, this goes way back from the time I'm even a kid. I'm gonna tell you guys a little story from like the time from when I was a kid to me now. Is how every failure really just been a success for me. I like to see it as a success. Most people will think of it as a failure, but when you think deep in the heart, every experience, whether you win, lose, do good in some form or shape, the experience in general is a form of success because you always learn something. You grasp onto something different that you can apply to whatever you do in the future. And it goes like, it all starts from like when I'm a little kid and I'm like playing video games. And I think there was this time where like, I think I was like 12 or something, 12, 13. And some guy messaged me on PlayStation and he wanted a game share. So basically, game sharing is like where you share accounts with a person. And when you share accounts and you trade games, and you guys can basically play video games on each other's accounts for free. So I actually trusted that person and gave him my account information one time, and boom. What do you think he did? He logged into my account and 5 minutes later stole it. I'm young, 12, 13. That shit hurt it. But it was an experience I needed to go through where I had to learn that you just can't trust strangers on the internet. You can't just trust randoms with your private information. So I see it now as a form of success. It happened to me when I was young, and if it didn't happen to me when I was young, in some form or way, I was going to be an idiot and trust someone in the future, and it's going to happen to me older in a much worse situation. That's what I want to show you. This was a failure. It was a mistake that I had. That's now a success. Let's take it back. Let's take it move forward. I'm like 16 years old, and I got into YouTube. And I started making what is now called faceless YouTube channels. It's basically when you make YouTube content without using your face. That's all it is. And it's like, I was making content on YouTube, making a little bit of money, maybe $500 to $1,000 a month. And I was like 16 years old in school, just making videos like this that were funny, entertaining, and it was without my face. Good content. Just basic stuff. And then one day, the first thing I learned how to use social media. That was one. But then one day, I got a copyright strike for using someone's song. I can't remember. I think it was like a motivational song or like a rock song, something within that genre. And I used it on one of the videos. I got a strike, and I lost my monetization and stopped making money. Just like that, boom. That was a failure. And I eventually, the channel died out for me because I gave up. I was young. I wanted to start playing sports and just doing other things with my life. I gave up with the channel, lost interest because I wasn't making any money no more. And then I see that failure. I made a mistake, but I gained so much experience just from that, just from that thing I've done. My failure made a mistake, had a copyright strike. I will never have this experience again. Maybe no, but I can see how to fix that and moving forward, and I would know what to do differently moving forward, which I can apply to the future. Got a lot of experience from that. Another failure. A lot of y'all don't know about this, but one day during the I think I was like, now I'm like 17. I'm watching the Warriors play the Cavs, and LeBron goes up and blocks Iggy in Game 7. Boom! In that moment, I swear to God, I threw my phone down and just smashed it. Boom! My brother's like, are you an idiot? He just broke his phone because LeBron blocked him. And it's like a video like after the aftermath and everything. And my phone's cracked, destroyed. Boom, I made a mistake. It was stupid. Why the hell am I blocked it? That shit was crazy though. Y'all seen LeBron block that shit? I did that live, broke it. Boom. I'm looking like, damn. It was an iPhone. I wasn't really working like that. I'm like, I just broke my phone. You know what I did? I couldn't probably, at the time, I really couldn't afford to fix a screen, or I was going to cost too much. It was out of my budget. So you know what I did? Went on YouTube. I learned how to fix it myself. And on that day, after I broke that screen, fixed it myself. And you know what I ended up doing? Started a little miniature business where I'm fixing screens for other people. And this was like my first little taste of entrepreneurship. But this was a mistake I made that turned into a form of success. And I just Eventually, I would just fix the kids' phones throughout high school because a lot of people had cracked and fucked up phones. Fix it. And so I went to basically, I fell back from entrepreneurship. I feel like I still have the taste, and I went to college, and that led me to my next experience, going to college. College was an experience. Meeting people was an experience. Everything was an experience. But let me rewind real quick. That time of me, I broke that phone. I'm thinking, and I ended up becoming an entrepreneur for a short period of time, just selling services and doing services for people. It was like I got a little taste, and eventually I stopped doing it. I guess that's a form of a mistake I made. Was quitting. But at the same time, the mistake of just breaking my phone opened me up to a form of success. One thing or another, every decision you make can open a door, and we have to be able to open ourselves to those new doors when this opportunity arrives to you. We can't stay in the same place all the time. We are always changing and growing. So don't ever take your mistakes as just failure. Your mistake can open doors and also be forms of success when you think in a different way. If you're constantly thinking negative and not including the positive to every situation, you're not going to grow. You're not going to change. You're always going to be stuck and simple. We're not here for that, man. We got to change. We got to grow. So yeah, I broke my phone. I went to college. Another thing. I experienced college. Although that was for me, I'm a smart kid. I was a pretty smart kid. I had good grades. Still am a smart guy. But when I was in school, I feel like it's not for me. I don't like the idea of. I enjoyed college. It was fun, but I didn't like the idea of what the end goal was for college. It was just like I was never a kid who was good at getting jobs. I'll tell you this right now, man. This is another form of my failure. I was a kid. Anytime it was like times to get a job, it was so difficult and weird. It's like everyone in my school can just get a job like this. Bro, I'm probably the only person who applied to McDonald's, went to an interview, and didn't get the fucking job. Like, it didn't make sense. I would go to interviews with like suits on and like nice clothes, be very professional, and it's just like, they didn't call me back. That was weird. I think I had like few jobs, and most of any job I really ever had was because a friend hooked me up with it, or an agency got me the job, and it was just very weird. That was never my thing. So these were forms of failures that opened up doors in my interest into other things. I was always a kid that just wanted to make money in a different way, even though I was open to jobs because you gotta make some money. And as an entrepreneur, you're not always making money. I had the opportunities of my failures. Doors were opening. My mind was open to other things at the same time. So I think this taste opened my mind up to entrepreneurship a lot. And it was part of my journey. So yeah, my failures, not being able to get jobs easily. I wasn't just that kid. I just apply to a job, go to the interview, get the job, boom, no. It always took maybe like 50 applications and like fucking 10 interviews to the most basic jobs to even get one. And I see people I felt like were less qualified than me getting the jobs. Maybe at this point now, think back at it, it was a sign like I wasn't made for that. I was made for something different. And there's nothing wrong with having a job. I don't think that. I just think that I'm not one of them. I'm different. And I don't need that. Other people, I don't give a fuck. That's them. But for me, I'm different, and that's just how I proceed through life. So yeah, here we go. Another failure, open another door for success. Small successes, not making me successful, but success is always is the difference between where you are and your potential. And anytime you tap into some of that potential, you've achieved success. So maybe I wasn't successful at the time, but I had successes, and every success adds onto my life. Okay, so where are we at now? We're like, I'm in college. It's just not for me. What happens? What happens while I'm in college? I go to school, listen to professors, blah blah, teaching. One thing I learned in college is that motherfuckers are terrible at teaching me. I usually learn things independently or trying to teach myself. Like I had to go seek the information. When it was a mandatory thing that I had to learn, I wasn't really too good at it. I like learning the things in the way I wanted to learn it because we all don't learn the same, and that system just wasn't working for me. And at the same time, the end goal where he said, if you don't do this, you're not going to get this job. I don't give a fuck about a job. I wanted to go here to just try to maybe start a business. That mindset was still in me. Then at the same time, I was craving business so much, and at the same time, I wasn't ready. And then at the same time, I was in a major I wasn't really that interested in. And I learned, like, I'm not doing this for me the way I want to do it. And when I don't do things the way I want to do it, that are the best, I feel like are the best for me, things don't go too well. Even though life isn't always going to be the way you want it, but I'm somebody who wants to take control. I was big on that. So I was really scrolling on the internet one day and got involved in a business, a network marketing business. Oof. I was a kid, and if you don't know network marketing, it's a business type where if you don't like to talk to people, it's really not for you. But I was a kid who was very quiet, didn't like talking to people, didn't have a lot of friends, like you guys know. Not everyone's my friend. And I didn't have a lot of connections. And if you're in business, one of the best things you can have is connections, friends, people who are going to get you to where you need to go, because it's almost like having an advantage through people, an advantage that necessarily you don't own. It's connections, and that was a door that needed to be open for me, and it did happen. I got involved in a marketing business, and I became really open to just meeting people, shaking hands, getting to know people, seeing how to learn these things from other people who had similar interests in me, and becoming and adding them to my contact list and making them a connection. That should change my life a little bit, because I was somebody who never wanted to talk to nobody. I can go a whole day without talking to somebody, but after that, I got accustomed to it. But it was the first time I got in a business involved like that. Network marketing, sales. I was confused. Had a failure where I thought that when you make money in business, at least I was treating business as if it was like a job, because I did have a few jobs prior to this, and I wasn't spending my money the correct way, utilize my money the correct way. And when you're a business owner, you have to utilize your money in a certain way, and I wasn't doing that. So it eventually caused that business to fail. And at the same time, I became interested in other things. But that failure was a form of success. That failure was a form of success, because now I've acquired these skills where I have the ability to talk to people and connect with people in a more simple way. The way I meet people now, it's easy for me to meet people, but it's hard for them to stay around, because I learned to acquire connections that attribute values to me. And they don't have to necessarily be my friends, but if you don't bring any value to my life, you're probably going to disappear out of my life. That's just how it is, and that's how it should be for you. You shouldn't waste your time making connections with people who can't bring any value to your life at all. Not everyone has to be your friend. Not everybody has to be your business partner, sister, brother, cousin, new cousin. If they're connected in your life, though, they have to have some sort of value to be in part of your life. People can't just suck from you, can't just drain from you. They need to be providing something to you to stay connected with you. That's the only way you're going to be able to exist in my life. You're just taking, and not bringing back any value to my life. You're not going to be a serious part of my life. And then that's just how it is. So yeah, I learned to connect with people from that failure. I acquired a new skill. Other businesses, I failed, I started with the years coming. But I acquired new skills, marketing, sales tactics, and I learned different things. Social media experience, all from things I've started and failed. I've started and failed so much shit. Man, and I could start and fail this, and this is just a new fucking experience. Like these videos can be a failure. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing the best I could to be successful at it. But if it does end up being a failure that I have, fuck it. I see the positive. I see what the experience I have. I've gotten more comfortable talking on camera. I got more comfortable just staring at this damn camera talking to you guys. And it's interesting because I was never accustomed to things like this, but as I continue to do it more and more, even if I fail, it's just a new ability that I have that's part of my life. And a lot of people, I feel like now, you're so afraid to fail. It's ridiculous. It's like you can't get them to start shit because they're afraid to fail, because they only think of the negatives when they fail, but they never think of what they achieved from the failures. scared to apply to certain jobs, scared to talk to a certain girl, scared to meet certain people. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. The potential that people miss out on because they're afraid. They're afraid to fail. I hate those type of people. I'm not gonna lie. I don't hate them, but it just sucks to be around those type of people because they never want to try anything. They're so big on just doing things basic because they're scared to fail. That's just never been me. Have you guys ever met somebody who basically will do everything bare minimum to feel like, I never really tried too hard of it, so I never failed or never was successful at it. It was just a little hobby. I've seen people who wanted to do so much with their life, but they did it with a bare minimum effort because they never wanted to feel like they really failed. They never wanted to feel like they really tried. So their mindset is telling them, if I didn't really try too hard, I never really failed because I never gave a fuck. I don't care that much. It was just a little hobby. People want to pursue music. People want to pursue YouTube. People want to pursue businesses. People want to pursue a certain job. People want to go to a certain school. They never pursue too hard. They would put the bare minimum effort because they never want to feel like they ever failed. And I hate that. I hate that for them. And that's never going to be me. If I ever do something, I want to take it serious. Like my children that I have in the future, if they want to do something, they need to take it serious. If they're playing video games, they need to take it serious. They shouldn't. I don't believe in the whole doing shit for fun for real. Fun comes with what you do, but you don't do it just for fun. But I don't think like that. I never thought like that. I'm a competitive person. I do things for a reason. I do things with a purpose. If I'm hanging out with my friends, I honestly don't just want to have fun. I want to be able to connect with my friends. I don't just do shit just for the fun of it, just for the heck of it, just for the fuck of it. I do it because I want to actually have some purpose behind it. If I'm just doing something that seems fun, like playing video games, I'm probably doing it because I want to connect with someone. I'm probably doing it because I want to release some energy that's within me. I never do things just for the fun of it, though. Just for the fuck of it. Because that's what fun sounds like, for the fuck of it. Fun comes with what you're doing. You should enjoy the things that you're doing it, but it shouldn't be the sole reason. Because with fun, the purpose can be removed from the situation a lot of the times when people just do things just for the fuck of it, the fun of it, in a sense. And I don't want to ever remove that. I want everything to have a little bit of a purpose. Even if it's not too significant. So yeah, this brings me back to like just failure, that fear of failure. I never had it. Every failure I have is attributed to some form of success. So yes, I failed in my life. I'm going to be able to admit that. But every failure has came with little bits of success, and it attributes to what I am today. But if you're somebody who's going to be afraid of failure, you're more than likely never going to be anything. You're just going to be a little piece in someone else's system who is successful, who wasn't afraid to fail, who took the risk to bring you onto their team because they weren't afraid that you were going to fail. That's what you are. You're just a little bit of nothing. And if you want to just be somebody's system, that's on you. Like I said, y'all can watch these videos. And I personally I don't give a fuck. I'm just talking, just chatting with y'all. But as far as like if y'all really want to take something like this serious and really want to think about whether you want to do something like this, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to just tell my story. Tell my story. And if you want to listen, that's for you. It's maybe for you. Never be afraid to fail, man. Never be afraid to fail. Because there's so much success that can come out of every failure. You just got to go dive in and attack it. You never know what can come from it. You never know. So yeah. Man, just think about that, man. Anything you got going on in your head, anything you want to do right now, just think about it. Think to yourself, what is something that you want to do? And see, how can I attack it? How can I do it? Think about the failures. Think about what may happen with the failures, but say, fuck it. Just do it. Just do it, man. Like he said that shit for a reason. They were not playing around when they said that. Wasn't playing around. Business is fun. They have their fun. They're having their fun now. The fruits of their fun, their choices. Man, you never know you could change your life. You never know.